the right time for you to come back and do this event and your event last night?
I don't know if it was necessarily a choosing a time. To be honest, it just naturally kind of happened, and I'm very grateful that it happened. I think it's probably a point in a lot of our life where this, the next generation starts taking on some of these roles. Joe, Mel Blunt, Franco, blessed memory, Lynn, all these guys, they always came back to us. They were always around the facility. They brought them, and we saw Mel Blunt's kids grow up, Keel and the rest of the boys grow up in our facility. And you see how it kind of starts to come full circle, but to be honest, it's not nothing that is preached about in our organization. It just kind of naturally manifests itself.
What's it?
Female fans. I mean, before it was just the women would sit there and want to watch the game, and now women, they're talking about drag, they're talking about position players.
Well, I think what's nice is it's the evolution of the game in the sense that they're not players anymore. They're human beings, and you get to see their stories, and the women are able to connect with stories, and I think a lot of maybe what connects me with this is that to see my wonderful wife and how much she has been the backbone of my life and career and success, and it's terrible sometimes because people say that like this is our life, but in reality our life is 4% of our life, and the other 96% my wife is the star and always doing everything. So it's kind of hard. It's bittersweet because it's kind of like, oh man, this is not authentically how things happen, but the women see that because the women know because they're holding down their households too, and so it's really cool that I'm able to celebrate my wife. I'm able to also show people the truth behind how things work in our family.
What's it mean to build that connection with the next generation, like you're talking about it? I don't know how much you've connected with Troy Polamalu, but part of his story was that he kind of idolized you, and now he's the team's first-round pick. What's it like being in that position after you were so many years ago?
It's humbling. It really is. I by nature am not holding court with people. I'm not a leader in those ways, But I love and try to support my brothers as much as possible, no matter who it is. For the younger generation, for Troy, for Broderick, for any of these guys that were drafted, or are currently playing, Cam, all these guys, I keep in contact with. You always want to let them know that you're going to be loving and supporting them, and that you're a call away from them. But you also know in the midst of the madness, how laser focused you are, and so you just try to do your best to support everybody, and that's how Joe and Mel and Lynn and all these guys were towards us.
Do you have one more?
Troy, the NFL draft is going to come to Pittsburgh. What do you think about it?
I think it's great. The Steelers are one thing, of course, but football runs deeper here than the Pittsburgh Steelers. You have so many Hall of Famers from Dan Marino to Darrelle Revis to Ty Law, and you have a gang of other players who haven't aren't in the Hall of Fame, from Bruce Gradkowski to Jason Taylor is here, but even Mark Bolger, there's so many players that have come. LeVar Arrington, you guys probably know way more than me. But to me, it's a celebration of not only Pittsburgh Steelers, but Western Pennsylvania football. I'd always made the argument after I moved there, I'm like, it's the best in the world. We don't have this concentration of Hall of Famers, and they're from Pittsburgh. It's not like all of Western Pennsylvania. A lot of these guys are from these streets here. So I think it's obviously a great thing for the Pittsburgh Steelers and a celebration of the Pittsburgh Steelers. But I think even more so, it's a celebration of Western Pennsylvania football and all the great football players that have come growing up as Steelers fans. That's what's so funny to me is you got guys like Ty and Darrelle, and they grew up Steelers fans, and of course they went out and did were the best in the game and played for rivals. But at the end of the day, they're Pittsburghers.